Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. Welcome to the conversation here on Lagos Television. I am Abimbola Bello.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. I am Ajibola Ojeshola.
I am Joy Olu. Welcome to the conversation.
Okay, Ajibola, is it a coincidence? There's a touch of pink in what you're wearing. Okay, all right. We hope you had a good day yesterday, and today we hope that it will be a better day. You know how we do it on the conversation, we talk about everything and anything, and today on the program we'll be taking a look at myriads of issues as it concerns us as Nigerians. But first, let's take our news points for today. Ajibola, are you ready to start?
Yeah. Petrol pump price may drop as Dangote marketers sign deal at last. The Independent Petroleum Products Marketers Association of Nigeria has secured an agreement with Dangote Petroleum Refinery to lift product directly. These, according to the association, will ensure the availability of petroleum to Nigerians at a cheaper rate. IPMAN's national president, Abubakar Garima, announced these at a press briefing on Monday in Abuja following a meeting of the National Working Committee of the association. He explained that the Dangote refinery had obliged IPMAN to lift PMS, AGO, and DPK directly for onward supply to IPMAN depots and retail outlets. The new arrangement with the Dangote refinery will ensure a steady and ceaseless supply of PMS products all over Nigeria at affordable rates. He said following our recent meeting with Alhaji Aliko Dangote and members of his top management staff in Lagos, we are happy to state the following. Dangote Refinery has obliged IPMAN to lift PMS, AGO, and DPK directly for onward supply to IPMAN depot and retail outlets. That this new arrangement with the Dangote Refinery will ensure a steady and ceaseless supply of PMS all over Nigeria. On October 29, the founder of Dangote Refinery, Aliko Dangote, said the refinery held over 500 million liters of petrol, but added that oil marketers were not buying its product. In a counter-response, IPMAN said its members had been unable to load petrol from the Dangote refinery for days. Garima said the association paid 40 billion to the NNPCL, but still cannot source the product. But the refinery said it has not received any payment from IPMAN. Okay, that was a prelude to these agreements which took place in Abuja yesterday. So finally, Dangote Refinery and of course the marketers have been able to sign a deal, and hopefully that will drop the price of petrol, hopefully.
And Jibola, in addition to this news is the fact that the NNPCL is also saying that they are halting 24 trillion naira in fuel imports and will be sourcing directly from the Dangote refinery.
Oh, nice one.
So it
Good
means
news.
that all the back and forth may finally come to end, and now I guess the next fight, I hope it will not be a fight, will be maybe the issue of monopoly. Because I think they've all agreed now that it's best to buy from Dangote refinery. And since the refinery has also promised that there's actually enough to go around. And I stumbled on a report last weekend where it was mentioned that a few African countries are already also signing up to buy fuel from Dangote refineries, places like South Africa and Mauritania, I think. And so if they're also buying, it means that Dangote needs to up its ante and ensure that there is enough supply. Because again, remember, those countries will buy in dollars.
That's business for him.
Yes, and that's business.
Good business.
I don't act like a typical businessman. I'm thinking of dollars instead of naira.
I hope that part of the agreements that was reached will be that you will consider us
Prioritize us first.
We will always be on your priority list, because you source the crude from here, and so we must top your priority list as Nigerians. You must service home before you take care of other marketers. We do hope that that's part of the deal that was brokered, so that we are not left in the dry if the dollars start rolling in.
Who will see dollars?
I say no.
I'll start earning naira. Then how soon are we going to start feeling this impact of this agreement with NNPCL and IPMAN in terms of the pump price of petrol?
Well, you and I are not in that sector. You and I sit in the studio.
We can only hope.
We can only pray and hope. And we also need to go back to what was said there. Categorically said prices may.
It's a conditional statement.
May. So It is not Uhuru
It's
yet,
certainty.
and it is not,
Not
certain.
will.
Yes, it is
May.
not
May.
will. It is may. So it's speculative. So as much as we are waiting, we probably also need to pray and
can
watch
only hope and pray.
and hope and pray
God will touch
that
the heart
the
of
may
everybody.
will become will. And you know, it will transcend to what we need to see. Let's take the second story this morning, and of course the second story is from Edo State, where Godwin Obaseki is to hand over to Okpebholo today, and as he pardoned 10 inmates yesterday. Outgoing Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki on Monday granted pardon to 10 inmates with less than 1 year to serve their terms in correctional centers in the state. The report went ahead to mention the names of those that were pardoned. And the pardoning exercise of the governor's prerogative of mercy was contained in a statement by the Office of the Special Advisor Media Governor's Office, headed by Crusoe Osage. Obaseki ended his tenure as governor on Monday and will today hand over power to the incoming governor of Edo State, Monday Okpebholo. Okpebholo's emergence came after his victory in the September 21, 2024 governorship election in the state, having defeated his closest rival and candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Asue Ighodalo. Obaseki's pardon of 10 inmates follows the request by the chairman of the Edo State Advisory Council on the Prerogatives of Mercy, Justice P.O. Isibo, retired. All right, I think, Mr. Governor, meanwhile, the Samuel Okbemudia Stadium in Benin City will come alive today as the inauguration ceremony to usher in the new governor will hold. Okpebholo becomes the 5th governor of the state since the Fourth Republic commenced in 1999. All right, that's part of what the story says. But the question is, where is Godwin Obaseki? Because I remembered the incoming governor had raised an alarm days ago that he was nowhere to be found. And
Well,
so
there are insinuations in some quarters that it might be in Lagos or is already out of the country. I see no reason, if you are the outgoing governor of a particular state, why you cannot wait for a few hours to hand over to your successor.
yeah.
And, you know, there are some steps taken by Obaseki lately, the commissioning of some projects, and of course how the EFCC arrested some of his commissioners. And, you know, it's been back and forth, accusation from APC, from PDP. Obaseki saying that he was not invited for the inauguration of Okpebholo. Then I'm wondering,
Who will
if you are the
invite
sitting
him?
governor,
You are the one handing
must
over.
you be
Are you
invited?
not the one handing over? And so again, it will take you back to issues where when there are problems, you expect things like this. And you also know that usually the proper handing over is done days before, in fact, weeks ahead, where all of the vital documents may have been handed over. But I'm not sure we heard anything in that regard in this case. And so now you're saying you were not invited as the outgoing governor of a state. Are you expecting a
special invite.
I don't even understand. But let's see how this will pan out today, whether or not Godwin Obaseki will be at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium or otherwise. The day is...
So if he's not there today,
So who will hand over?
Well, the handover ceremony is ceremonial.
Well, that's true.
It's
And,
ceremonial.
you know, this is a big lesson.
This is the business of the chief judge of the state to administer the oath of office to the governor and his deputy. So if Godwin Obaseki
Let him be there.
does not like...
The event will continue.
Oh, most definitely.
Power is temporary.
Most definitely. I just hope people will begin to
4
see
years
that
will
that
look like 8
Forever.
years, like
No,
16
Ajibola,
years.
no,
But
so
one
even
day,
say it, 8 years. 8 years.
It will come to an end
It
someday.
was there for 8 years. It would look like yesterday. And there's always, the sad thing is, as much as we keep saying power is transient, people will still not learn. People will still get to an office tomorrow and still abuse the office. And still do things that, and you imagine, do you remember that you're going to vacate that office one
Someday.
day? So by the end of, in fact, as of yesterday, he became the former governor
exactly.
of Edo State. So what are we told? And
Life.
EFCC is laying siege
Oh my
somewhere.
God. Maybe that's why we have not seen Obaseki of late. You can only hide. You cannot run.
Yeah,
And by the way, where's
White
the white lion?
lion? White lion is still running, no? He's still on the run.
No, it's not a lion, it's a rabbit.
Joy, let's take your story.
Lagos removes 54 illegal shanties, dislodges 84 occupants. The Lagos State government has begun the removal of shanties and dislodging of illegal squatters across some bridges in the state. The Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, announced the operation on his X handle on Monday. He says operatives of the Lagos State Environmental Sanitation Corps dislodged illegal squatters under Elegbata, I hope I get that right, Elegbata, correct me if I'm wrong, Elegbata Bridge by Akpobun. Similarly, the head of Public Affairs and Advocacy Unit, Lajex Ajayi Lukman, in a statement on Monday, revealed that the Lagos Environmental Sanitation Corps removed 54 illegal shanties and 8 makeshift toilets under the Eko Bridge, displacing 84 occupants. In consolidation of existing efforts aimed at reducing the spate of environmental nuisances to the barest minimum in the metropolis, the Lagos Environmental Sanitation Corps, popularly known as KAI, effected the removal of 54 illegal shanties, which harbored 84 illegal occupants and 8 makeshift toilets beneath Eko Bridge at the Ebute Road area of the state. He also disclosed that according to the Corps Marshal, the Elegbata water channel. Elegbata. Oh my God.
Yeah, your lesson is running.
Okay. That water channel, which spans the Lagos Lagoon right under the Eko Bridge around the Ebute Road axis, turned home to miscreants, illegal occupants occupying the waterfront, usually in the habit of promoting indiscriminate dumping of refuse into the lagoon, activating the base of the bridge as a criminal hideout, and enjoining open defecation, urination. And that's quoting him, was swung into action after serving a 7-day abatement notice, which was not adhered to.
Okay.
Let me stop it here. When will we learn?
We will learn when we will learn. I mean, these are these are not even houses. These are illegal shanties. These are places that are constituting a nuisance to the state, especially under the bridges. And if you know Ebute Road very well, I'm sure Bature will have an idea of that place in his head. He's looking at that place right now. Usually things go on in that place and you're wondering, how do people cope with the kind of environmental degradation that is happening here? You're driving on that axis. Somebody is doing things and you're wondering, don't you have shame? The whole lot on the Akpobun Bridge and is trending. Some people, of course, aid preparations for
fairness, the type of elections that we have these days, you can hardly rig. You can hardly rig. I'm not saying that people are not rigging again, but you can hardly rig. So if you have done your campaign very well and you have touched where you ought to touch, then you have no reason to fear.
Yeah. It just shows that you know, the people must be vigilant.
Yes.
On Saturday. The people must also come out to vote, because again, when you assume that things won't happen because you're not voting, then you're also leaving your responsibility to others. So if you have a voter card, please come out on Saturday in Ondo State to cast your ballot. Don't assume that your ballot will not count or your vote will not count. At least you exercise your civic right as an individual.
Do your part.
Do your part and stay there if need be. And, you know, have your own backup results, like they say. And just, you know, do your own and let the system also do its own. We cannot continue to express, you know, dissatisfaction with the system and expect others not to also do same. So, but you just come out on Saturday and cast your votes for your preferred candidate. But again, when you stay on that line, you can choose to, if you want to collect the 10,000 that they will bring to you, because they will bring it.
They will bring it up. Customers are even complaining now. There are no money in any bank.
So
in
yes,
Ondo State again.
in that state,
They
And
mopped
of course,
up
your
all
party
the cash.
representatives will be there when they are
mopped it
counting
up.
where people are voting. So tell your party representative
to shine their eyes. To shine their eyes. All right,
As well.
those are the stories we're taking a look at this morning on our news point, as well as our hashtag for today. We'll take a quick break. When the conversation returns, another serious conversation we'll be having this morning. And this was how insurgency started way back in the north. And right now, another ugly incident is rearing its head in that zone. This time round, Lukarawa is the group that even the defense headquarters had to warn that there is a new terrorist group in town. And over the weekend, up until early hours of Sunday, they actually unleashed terror in some communities, and the time to act is now, if indeed we are to combat this group. So that's our conversation this morning.